supporting you in your dog parenting journey. The Dynamic Dog Owner with Debbie Potter. Hello and welcome to The Dynamic Dog Owner, the podcast designed to support you, the dog parent, in your dog parenting journey. As you'll know if you're a regular listener, we talk about all things dog, but mainly the sort of behind the scenes stuff, not the actual how-to of training, but more living with the dog and navigating all the challenges as a dog parent you may face and all the questions that you might ask and need some reassurance on. So today is a topic that has been requested, which is always good. I love a requested topic. I know that at least one person is interested in what we've got to say this week. So the question is, or the topic is, should dogs have friends / playmates? Do they need them? In a nutshell, my answer is yes. However, as always, there's two sides to the coin, there's different opinions, and we're going to talk about the ideal here. So, many dogs struggle with social, you've actually got two camps. You've got the dogs that are amazing at socialising, you've got the dogs that struggle with it. You tend to see the ones that cope well with socialising more because generally they are out and about in public more. And then the dogs that are a little bit more wary, if you're a little bit awkward about playing, interacting, your dog hasn't quite mastered it, naturally you take a wider berth, you don't go to busy places, etc. So it's really common to think that your dog's the only dog that doesn't have good social skills. But kind of what are good social skills? So common thing I see is, and this isn't everybody, this is just a common thing that we see, is that puppies generally, obviously, come home from the litter at around 8 weeks. They then stay in the home, not socialising with any dogs until they've had all their vaccinations, etc. And then they don't sort of see any other dogs or interact with any other dogs until they start going out for walks again, which is normally around sort of 11 and 12 weeks. So they spend 3 or 4 weeks not interacting with dogs. Naturally, most dogs are then like, wow, other dogs, and they're very excited and want to say hello to them, which is fine when they're cute puppies. And of course, cute puppies, you socialise them with everybody. You want everyone to share the enjoyment of your puppy, and everyone to love your puppy. And you don't say, oh no, don't fuss my puppy, because you want everyone to love it. Then they become quite sociable. And then they start, especially if you've got a bigger breed, they then start to get a little bit boisterous because they are bigger than other dogs. So, I've got labs, so I talk about like retriever sizes, but the common thing is that then these bigger dogs become a little bit too boisterous, not through any ill will, not through any malice. It's just through, I'm a big bouncy puppy. Yes, I may look fully grown at 8 months, but I am still a tiny baby inside here learning how the world works. And for dogs that are smaller, they can naturally be a little bit intimidated by it. Owners then go, oh my goodness, I have a dog that I can't let bounce around. I need to stop interacting as much. Then you've got a big bouncy puppy who gets frustrated because they still want to play with people. And then we start holding back. And when they're a little bit older, we'll work on this. And then they are past the point, and they find it too hard potentially then to interact because they're teenagers. And then it's really hard then getting a dog to integrate sometimes. You've also got the dogs that suddenly find it a little bit overwhelming and bark. Majority of people believe their barking, lunging dog is aggressive, when actually they are just frustrated and want to go and play. But naturally, if your dog is barking and lunging when they see other dogs, you go, oh my goodness, this can't be a thing. I have got to keep my dog away, which means we then starve them of interaction. And then they get frustrated even more. And then they're too excited when they go and say hello to people. So, in a nutshell, it's kind of this is like a weird way of working around this already. As you know, I don't plan these podcasts. You give me a line and I will just chat. So you get it off the cuff, hence there's no like planned order. So if these actually make sense, it's a bonus. So that's classically what happens. And it happened with one of my dogs, Dave, because he is a big dog and he barked and lunged when he saw other dogs because he was frustrated. He still does it now, but he's really polite about it. So it's okay. It's not a problem anymore. Not that it was a problem before, but I don't have to worry as much because he's not big and bouncy, but he's arthritic, big and bouncy, so it's not the same. And actually, he's got extremely polite social skills. He just wants to say hello to everyone and needs to learn a little bit of what's called FOMO. You can't say hello to everyone. So yes, my opinion is that all dogs do need interaction, but it's the right amount of interaction, the quality of the interaction, to avoid reactivity. So sometimes reactivity comes from a lack of interaction with other dogs. And that is often the common thing because of the scenario I just explained. And that's not necessarily just with big dogs, it can be with small dogs who start to bark excited, etc., because we assume it's aggression rather than just frustration. And then they don't have the opportunity to practice social skills. So anyway, I'm like digressing already. So I personally feel that dog interactions, dog play, dog friends is misunderstood. Many people believe that their dog should be friends with every single dog they meet. It's just not going to happen. Like, that's like saying to you, you have to like every single person you meet. You have to want to play with them and be polite and be sociable with every single person. Now, I don't know about you. I think I'm a nice person. There are still people that rub me up the wrong way and I really don't want to spend time with them. Not many, granted, but equally, I'm not actually like the social meter and greeter because I need downtime. I need time where I don't talk to people. I'm quite happy to be sociable and chat to people, but equally, I need my time where I don't. Some people have off days. Everyone has an off day some days. Some days you wake up, you're out for a walk and you're like, good morning to everyone you meet. Other days you're like, do you know what, I'm really tired. Nothing to do today. Yeah, hi. We have off days. We have days when we feel more enthusiastic. We have days where we don't. And we accept that as people, but we expect our dogs to be sociable with every single dog, especially puppies. Puppies, it's like, well, they want to be friends with everyone. Yes, they do, but it doesn't mean they should. So something we talk about quite a lot in puppy classes is teaching your dogs to ignore other dogs. Not because we're killjoys, but because it's a skill that is really beneficial in puppy days to avoid having frustration as an adult dog. Because naturally, again, what happens, and this is kind of digressing already, but again, I've already said that once. I mean, we're going to go off in 50 million directions today. Puppies, yes, need to be polite, but they need to learn how to not say hi so that when the person they meet and greet is not suitable, they know how to slide on. They know how to just go, okay, not today. They equally know how to say hello. Now, generally with a puppy, as I said earlier, everyone wants to just get their puppy out there. Everyone wants to be friends with it. Everyone wants to love it. And people want to share their puppy. Of course you do, because it makes people really happy. So you want to share your puppy's love. You want to go over and meet and greet because we're told that socialization is about being sociable with dogs. It's not, FYI. So naturally as puppies, we let them say hi to absolutely everyone. And then when we start getting a little bit more, I'm in a rush, I haven't got time, we stop doing that. And that's when some of that frustration can come in. But teaching them from a young age how to say hello politely and also how to ignore politely and how to just be next to somebody and not interact with them is all the key components to having a dog who has playmates later down the line. Because if they haven't mastered those skills, it can feed into other issues. So a dog that is too friendly and wants to say hello to everybody, some dogs don't like that. Some dogs don't want it. And it's not that your dog's being rude, they're just too much. It's like that life and soul of the party person who's like, hey, and drags you over the dance floor and you're like, I'm not interested. Leave me alone. Some people don't like it. You've then got the dogs who maybe haven't got the social skills and need to build up confidence. Again, something good to do in puppyhood. And then you've got dogs who are just indifferent. I'm not actually that bothered about saying hello to other dogs, and that's fine too. But learning how to master those skills as a puppy is going to help further down the line, because then it means they've got skills. Now, some dogs naturally are extremely polite and good at reading other dogs. Others aren't. Dave, for example, my eldest dog, yes, he's the big bouncy one who'll bark and say, hi, I want to play with you. But equally, he is the most polite interactor I have ever known. He's taught all my puppies, I've had hundreds of them, Rem and Fred, how to be polite dogs and how to listen to him. I always remember as a puppy, when Rem was a puppy, Dave knew that he was obviously the puppy, and they'd get at the end of a toy each, and Dave would just give it one little nudge, enough for there to be a bit of tension for Rem. Rem would like rag along, and Dave would just hold it still because he knew that he would hurt him if he ragged properly. And he'd wait for Rem to stop, and then he'd give one little nudge just to keep him interested. And it was the politest play. He'd then stop and lay down and let Rem be the big bad puppy, and Dave would lay on his back going, "It's okay, you get me." And he always, and even now, he's 9 next month, he knows exactly when to sort of be the underdog. He knows exactly what signals to give. He is so polite, yet he still wants to say hello to everyone. That's to say taming down, but he's got really, really good polite skills. I haven't taught him those polite skills. He was born with them. Even as a young puppy, he would, what we call self-handicap. So if he's bigger and bouncier, he knew that if another dog was a little smaller or a little bit weaker, he would lower himself, he'd lay down so that they could be the big scary dog. It's not something you can necessarily teach. It's something dogs come equipped with. So we've definitely got like a nature nurture here thing. My middle dog, he is not really sociable. I always say he's the dog that would happily be in a single dog house. The other two love living with others. And he likes interacting with them, just very, very few and far between and on his own terms. And he's not really bothered about interacting with dogs out and about. Very occasionally, he'll be like, "Oh, hi, I want to play with a dog." And it's normally dogs he's really formed a relationship with. Occasionally, he doesn't like a dog, and that is, again, few and far between. Since we've moved, touchwood, we've not had his enemy dogs he didn't like on the estate because they were mean to him, and he obviously holds a grudge. We've not had any bad encounters, so he's indifferent to all the dogs that we've met, but he's not bothered. You know, he doesn't care, and there's nothing wrong with either of those. He's not being rude; he just isn't interested. And Dave is potentially being a little bit rude because he barks and shouts, but he's just saying, "Hi, hello, I'll be your friend." There's nothing wrong with either option. Now, my opinion is that dogs do need interaction, but they need interaction in the right way. So ideally, think about us as people. Do you have, and some people are going to say yes to this, but most people don't, do you have 50 best friends? Of course you don't. You tend to have one or two people that you're really close with and that you feel completely comfortable and relaxed with, and you can be yourself. You can show them your off days, you can share successes, you can talk to them about problems, you can literally be open, and 99%, I don't think anyone's ever 100% comfortable and relaxed, but 99% yourself, or around these people who are really close to you. You might know hundreds of people, but they see a different side to you. They don't see the vulnerable. They don't see the true nitty gritty. And then you've got the friends that you know, have a bit of a chat with, you might go out for coffee with, but they don't know the inner workings of your mind. So we have different levels of friendship. You've got the outer circle, your middle range, and your inner circle of close knit, the circle of trust type people. And we think that's quite normal, We wouldn't treat best friend in a circle the same as a work colleague. We know how to turn off and turn on whatever we're allowed, whatever we're comfortable sharing with people. Dogs need the same. So it's fine for dogs to know lots of dogs. And I think of that as, I go out for a walk and I see 50 dogs. They're all dogs I know. I see them every day on the walk, or I smell them every day on my walk, so they all live in the same area as me. I don't need to share any more than that. You've then got the occasional dog you'd have a quick morning, quick sniff as you walk past with them. And then you've got your close-knit, use my best buddies, I can be a real dog around you. And that's kind of the healthy bit you need. So dogs don't need to be friends with every single person, every single dog they meet. They don't need hundreds of playmates, and it's not fair to expect them to. But close-knit friends, I think, is really important for dogs. So having 1 or 2 or 3 dogs that you know really well and can really exhibit dog behaviour with comfortably because you both get each other. It's really important, in my opinion. I see it at home, being a multi-dog household, and I know how valuable it is. So as a dog parent, they don't need to be friends with everyone. They just need to have 2 or 3 good interactions. Why? Because dogs learn so much through each other. And it's naturally, it's their own species. They are dogs. I always, again, think about it like a desert island. If someone's been on a desert island for a year, obviously the first person they see, they're going to be absolutely freaking over the top, going, oh my God, I've seen a person, and be really, really pleased to see them and want to talk to them because it's the first human interaction they've had. Now, when you've been around people all day, you're not maybe interested because I just need a break from people because you've had too much of them. But when you've been starved of it, you want more. And dogs are a bit like that, in my opinion. They haven't had interaction. So they need interaction to be able to exhibit dog behaviour. We're humans. As much as we play with them, as much as we interact with them, as much as we've got a strong bond, we're not dogs. We don't move the same way. We don't communicate the same way. So dogs playing and actually properly playing is practicing dog behaviour and dog communication. It's practicing, if you think back very primitively, it's practicing like survival skills effectively. I'm going to kill you. Oh no, I'm not, only kidding. And that's healthy play. That's effectively what play is. If you think about how dogs play, they rough, they tumble, they go like jaws sometimes. Obviously there's different ways. There's aggressive doing that, and then there's play. But effectively play is mimicking, chasing, catching, pinning each other down potentially. It's mimicking survival skills. So it's very important from a dog behaviour outlet, from practicing communication within their species, but also for the interaction, because dogs are a sociable breed. They're not a pack animal, they are a social group animal. So they like being with others. So what do they practice? If you think about it, I know, like looking at my guys, the three of my dogs play together in such a beautiful way. It's not how they would play with another dog. Dave and Fred might, but they'd be a bit more reserved because they know what they can get away with and what they can't get away with. They start learning how to read body language. So a lot of the time, reactivity or dogs that don't get on with each other is because they've given off body language the other one doesn't understand. And it's a bit like, again, think about your close-knit family. They were an absolute arse today, but I know them and I know why, and I know why they're acting the way they're acting because I know them. And it's a bit like that with dogs. Close-knit dogs, they gave off this signal, but it's okay because I know them. And they're practicing how to read signal. You can then put that into real life when you're out and about meeting other dogs on a walk because you've seen it and practiced it at home. So when dogs are playing, they are mimicking effectively that primitive dog pre-domestication behaviour. And as long as play is healthy between two other dogs, it's fine, but it's about getting a healthy match. So something we obviously look at when we're in training is we know the dogs we work with. A lot of our members have been coming for, some of them up for 7-8 years nearly. So we know them. Most stay with us for a good few months. So the average is a couple of years. I say average, it's actually more than that. Most people do stay, if they remember, they stay for a really long time. So we know the dogs. We really know the dogs, we know the people. And it means that when, for example, we have a new person join our training club, that dog is going to get on well with your dog. 99% of the time we get it spot on because we know our dogs really well, or our client dogs really well. We can then match up pairs because we know their personalities, we know their play styles, we know what they're going to like and what they're not going to like, we know what vibe they need. We can then match plays. It's a bit like doggy dating, I suppose. Or we have been referred to as one client by like this pots of pimps because we are matching people up. But hey, that's what we do. So it means that when they're having those interactions, they're good quality. So think about doggy playmates as it's not about the how many you're saying hello to, it's about the quality of the interaction that you are or your dog is having. It's about finding someone who matches your dog's style so that they can do this play. Naturally, terriers, Labradors play very different. You've got boxers and spaniels play very different. And yes, if they get used to another dog's play style, they know what's normal. But if they don't, some dogs play can be seen as being quite intimidating by other breeds. So that's why it's good to have a good match. Good energy, good communication, good intention, etc. Some dogs are quite full on and they need a full on match. Because if you've got one dog that's like, yay, come on, let's do it, let's play, let's go. And you've got another dog going, actually, I just like a quick little sniff. They're not going to be a good pair. Their intentions are not great. So that's the kind of dog we'd then say, right, you guys just need to ignore each other and learn how to coexist. Maybe having a quick sniff, looking, sharing space, but not actually playing, because it's not what each other wants. Each dog then learns how to be polite. But when they get that good match, they can exhibit all the play skills. So for example, with my guys, because I see them playing quite a lot, you've got them initiating play, learning how to go, hey, do you want to play? And then listening to the other one say, go on then, or not today. So they're learning how to respond to they're learning how to ask, and they're learning how to read and interpret the response they're given and then act upon it. And sometimes, Dave especially will ask he's the eldest, he's a troublemaker. He'll be like, come on guys, do you want to play? And they're like, no. Do you want to play? No. You sure you don't want to play? And they're like, no. He's like, come on. They're like, go on then. So sometimes he'll keep asking and keep inviting because they just have to think about it. Other times they shut him down. He's like, okay, I'll go back to sleep then. But generally he gets his own way. So he asks them, he listens. So he's learning how to initiate something and then respond to whatever he's being given back. They then learn how to healthily chase. So when dogs chase and run around, it shouldn't just be one doing all the chasing and one being chased. Some dogs like it, but generally it should be more taking in turns. So one does the chasing, they then swap over and the other one does the chasing. So they both get a turn at being the chased or the chasee. They then, when they learn how to play, learn how to mimic each other. So most dogs when they're playing will mimic each other. So we call it mirroring. One does a move, the other one copies it. One does a move, the other one copies it. And they move in quite a healthy way. They flip their bodies. Sometimes, my guys at home definitely do it, open mouths, clamped around a foot, around a head, around an ear. That's very normal. Again, they're all comfortable with it because they know each other very well. But it's maybe going, I'm going to eat you, but their tail's going, I'm only kidding. So they're giving off these effectively, like predatory behaviors, but the rest of their body's laughing and joking about it. No different to play fighting with kids, especially if you've got sons. I've got girls. I mean, they don't really play fight, but boys especially do. They will, rough and tumble, grab each other around the neck, whatever. It is play, and we know it's play because that's what they're doing, and both are laughing and joking, and they're both saying, hey. But equally as people, we know when it turns. We know when we go, hang on, they're not enjoying it anymore, just pause for a second. Everyone needs a rest. And as dog parents, when you've got a young puppy or any dog really, adults as well, we have to do that same role. We have to go, hey guys, hang on, I don't think they're enjoying it anymore, let's have a rest. But knowing how to spot that can be really, really tough. Hence, obviously, that's why we do, with all of our new puppies, we do interaction practice sessions where we can help them learn what is being said between the dogs, so that they can learn what to look out for. And equally, if we're always helping the dogs go, come on, time to split it up, and I do this at home, generally I can leave my guys to play and play and play and play. When they were younger, needed more supervision of going, right, time to split it up. Now they're all fine. I can literally just leave them. And eventually one of them will do something that goes, okay, I overstepped a mark there. And they're not doing anything aggressive. They just go, I've had enough now. And the other one goes, okay, sorry, didn't mean to. And then they dissipate and sort themselves out. It's never aggression. It's never anything beyond the body language changes. The play growl turns into a I've had enough now growl. And it's not an aggressive growl, don't get me wrong, it is just communication. And they know how to manage themselves because when they're younger, I've been helping them learn how to read it. So it's very much, dogs do need play dates, but they also need a human there who's being able to interpret it to help them get it right. No different to what we would with a child. And obviously, this is very tricky. It's not easy. But if we learn what we're seeing and learn how to interpret it and how to then separate it and what's healthy, it means that the quality of the friendships our dogs have is better, and therefore they're having better communication. Now, there's a big argument, and I definitely see this, that dogs who come from a multi-dog household have better social skills than those who don't. So dogs who live on their own. I see it in my guys, definitely. They have really good social skills. Can they put it out in practice with other people? Yes, but it's awkward because they don't know you, so it still gets a bit awkward. But generally, puppies who live or go to live in a house on their own, they only get to practice that interaction once or twice. Or if you've found another person with a dog, they get to do it quite a lot, but it's not all the time. So when you do have a multi-dog household, personally for me, interaction is not top of my list. My dogs don't need to say hello to anybody. I don't care about my dogs meeting and greeting people. And I don't strive for my dogs to say hello to people on walks. We don't have play dates. I mean, we probably should. Occasionally I meet up with people here. So like my team will have events with staff dogs. And my dogs can be really polite with them, that's fine. But again, it's a bit awkward polite. It's kind of like that family versus friend, but they get to practice it. But I know, and this is me probably being a bit overprotective, I know the other person knows exactly what I know and is looking for the same thing. What I don't like is my dogs interacting with dogs and the other people not knowing that their dog or my dog starting to get uncomfortable and not knowing how to separate it, because then it becomes a bit awkward. So your dog doesn't need loads of friends, they just need a few. If you live in a single dog household, I think it's more important to have regular meetups, not with multiple dogs. I don't agree with like 50 dogs meeting up in a field. I think that's awful. My opinion, might not be correct for everybody, but it's my opinion. I think if you live singly, it's good to have 2 or 3 good dog friends to meet up with regularly for your dog to practice social skills. They don't need to say hello to everybody, but they need to just have a core group. And that's where, if you haven't got any family or friends with dogs, it can be really, really tough. Hence, things like our club membership means you see the same dogs each week, and they do form relationships. We have a dog come into class who makes a beeline for her best buddy. They have a few minutes of hello, 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 I haven't seen you for a week. And they were so comfortable together, which is lovely. And that's what they need. That's okay. So I don't know if I've answered the question here or not, and I've kind of get to the point now where I think you're probably bored of me. So in a nutshell, yes, dogs do need playmates. Going about it can be really, really hard, especially if you've had the experience where adolescence kicked in, they became a little bit awkward, which is really common, especially with sort of younger, more exuberant dogs, that they become a bit awkward, it's misinterpreted, and then we starve them of interaction. It's really hard to then reintegrate it, but it can be done. It's just about finding a right match and getting all the foundation skills in place. But yes, they do need playmates, but think quality, not quantity. They don't need to be friends with everybody. It's having good quality interactions, structured, planned, orchestrated, is much better than just letting them off in the park and letting them do it themselves. So they do need playmates, but think 1 or 2 is plenty, and it's about having the right match and a relationship that helps them grow, rather than anything else. So hope that's been useful. If it's something you want more information on, do drop us a message, because understanding dog behaviour and communication between dogs is probably one of the top things we do. Majority of our one-to-one training clients are reactive, and it's a very, very broad term, reactive. Majority of them are frustrated greeters. They are very, very polite. For whatever reason, they've either had a confidence knock or they just want to say hi to everyone. And they're learning how to get past that awkward teenage phase where, and no different to humans, right? Awkward teenagers. I live with teenagers. They get awkward and lose some of their social skills and then rebuild them as adults. Same thing happens with dogs. Puppies can be really sociable. You then get the awkward teenage phase, and we help dogs through that every day of the week, and help people learn how to manage and help their dogs through that, and then go on to be more managed, sociable adult dogs and more, level-headed. So if it is something you want more information on, do feel free to drop us a message. Don't forget we've got the Pawcademy hub, but you can also book a free discovery call with us. We offer a free 15-minute call where you can have a little chat with us. If you're local, obviously we can work in person together. If you're not local, we can do virtual one-to-ones as well. So there's loads of ways we can help and support you if doggy playmates is something that you need help with, or that social interaction. Anyway, hope you've had a good time listening to this. Hope it's made you think a little bit about dog play interaction, whether friends for your dog are important or not. And obviously this is just my views, my opinions. It may not be what everyone else's are. This is my views from what I live with my own dogs and all the clients we see. So do feel free to disagree with me. As we say, this is never like, this is law. We just give our opinions and our views on things. Have a wonderful week, and I'll catch up with you really soon.
If you love listening to the podcast, why not check out the Potter Pawcademy for practical dog training advice and how-to videos. The hub is broken down into sections, and hundreds of pre-recorded videos are there for you to start watching whenever you choose. You can watch them back as many times as you like. You also get to talk to other community members and discuss your training, and benefit from live Q&As with myself where you can get your questions answered. Why not make use of our 3-day free trial where you can access all of the content on the hub absolutely free for 3 days. The link is in the description below, so do check that out. And I can't wait to see you in the hub.
Thank you for listening to The Dynamic Dog Owner with me, Debbie Potter. See you next time.